It's time for Penguin Speaks.
Hey everybody, Penguin here. Well, today was my neurology appointment, which I go every 2 months now. And it's pretty much status quo, but he noticed that I guess I wasn't in as good of a mood as I have been in my past visits, which I don't seem like I'm down or anything. He, asked about depression. Well, I told him, I'm already taking Zoloft. He's like, well, that's what I was going to prescribe for you. And I thought about it. I said, well, go ahead and do that because my primary physician did prescribe me the Zoloft because I haven't taken it since a stroke. But he doesn't like prescribing that. He wants me to see a psychologist. This way, that's one less I have to see. And he has no problem giving me that medication. So I'm very good there. All my other medicines are staying the same. I still need to get into pain management, which is such a hassle. You have to have a Georgia ID, and Pennsylvania, for some reason, is back ordered like 3 months for getting a birth certificate, which I need to get my Georgia ID. Now, I can't even get an appointment until I give them my ID number, my driver's license number, to verify that I have it. And then it's like 3 months after that. So we're looking at next year before I can get into pain management. And it's really frustrating because I need to see somebody, but I can't. And it's really difficult, and it's really taxing because my neurologist won't prescribe any pain medication. He prescribes the muscle relaxers and things like that. He won't prescribe any pain medication. And I got to quit hitting the desk because the camera's shaking. So it's just kind of a weird thing. In Florida, my neurologist is the one who was my pain management. And I thought it was going to be the same here, but it's not. And I knew that, but I've been trying to get my ID, and it's like the odds are stacked against me. Eventually I'll get it and get in to see somebody. But I think with the neurologist, when he said, I seem down or whatever, I think I'm trying to come to the realization that I am probably as good as I'm going to get. I still strive every day to get better. I honestly do. However, I think that I've pretty much reached the peak that I'm going to get. I had a strong rise after the stroke, and I got better, and I got better, and I got better, a year out. Now we're over 2 years out, and I've just kind of reached a plateau. And I'm the same now that I was 6 months ago, which would be before 2 years of the anniversary of the stroke. So I don't know. Is this it? Is this the best I can do? I mean, physical therapy, from what I'm told, won't be any benefit at this point. And I still do exercise. I still try to walk as much as possible without the cane around the house. If I have to walk any type of, even a minor distance, I use the cane, and I use a wheelchair when I need to. I can't push myself too far because if I do, then I'm down for a couple of days afterwards, and I can't really afford to do that either because that's just not healthy to push and be down, because then it's so hard to push again after that. So it's really kind of an interesting situation, but I deal with it. I try to do the best I can do every single day, and that's pretty much where we're at now. I am getting a video ready that will go up either tonight or tomorrow that features the roller coasters of Kennywood ranked in order that I think they are for me as far as my favorites. I will give a spoiler alert. I did put the Steel Phantom on there. Even that roller coaster no longer exists. I did ride it when it was operating, so I put that at the top of my list because I think it was a fantastic ride. I think that it was most adrenaline pumping through my system than I ever think I've ever experienced on a roller coaster. So it's a pretty good roller coaster. If you haven't ridden it, I'm sorry. You'll never get a chance to again. I'm also going to do the same thing for Six Flags roller coasters. Now, here again, there's some that I haven't ridden and some that I did ride that no longer exist there, such as the Georgia Cyclone, and that's only been last weekend that they stopped that ride to put in another roller coaster, is what I understand. And it's going to be a bigger roller coaster that actually has inversions. No loops, but from what I understand and what I'm reading, they're going to have some corkscrew type aspects of it, I guess you could say, or elements involved with it. And that'll be a fun one to ride. It probably won't be open until next year, but they're supposed to start breaking ground on it already if they haven't. I know they're still tearing down the Cyclone as we speak, so I'm not sure when that will be available. Now, I am more of a fan of wooden roller coasters than I am steel. Not that I don't love steel roller coasters, I just enjoy riding wooden ones more, especially the ones at Kennywood because they're all so old. All three of their roller coasters were initially built in the 1920s. Now the Thunderbolt was called the Pippin, and now it's a Thunderbolt because I think it was 1968. The Pippin caught on fire and it destroyed a large section of it. So rather than rebuild that, they just revamped the whole coaster, left several of the hills in, but removed crossovers and things like that to put in a helix type thing. And the Thunderbolt is still a great roller coaster. It's normally ranked in the top 10 or 20 roller coasters to ride in the world. It has a lot of ACE awards, and it's still one of the best wooden roller coasters. So if you ask me what was the first roller coaster that I rode, that would be at Kennywood Park because that's where I grew up. And I believe it was the Racer was the first one. It was either the Racer or the Jackrabbit. And then whichever one it was not became the second roller coaster. And the Thunderbolt being the third. Actually, I got to go back and change that. There was a little roller coaster in Kiddieland called the Little Dipper. And that would be the first one that I rode. And now that one obviously is not even there anymore. But as a child, that was the first one I rode. And it really wasn't much of anything, of course. Just to get kids experience to going up and down hills, I guess. But the Racer, the Jackrabbit, the Thunderbolt, I grew up riding those three. And for the longest time, that's all they had until 1982. They put in what was called the Laser Loop, which was A, it was the first steel coaster at Kennywood, and B, it was the first looping roller coaster at Kennywood. And what happened is you'd start in the station, you go out about, it was 0 to 60 miles an hour, I think. It had a cable that drew you, and you go through the loop, go up, come back down, backwards through the loop, up again, and then stop. So that was an interesting ride. And actually, the Steel Phantom, when they built that, used the same station as the Laser Loop. So they didn't have to tear it all out. And then the Laser Loop actually, it was called something different, but they moved that to Six Flags in Georgia, which had stayed there for quite a while. And now it's defunct. You don't see it anymore. It's just not thrilling enough to keep it as an operating ride. Well, that's about it for now, guys. I will be releasing the roller coaster video soon, and hope you guys enjoy that. Let me know what you think. And as always, this is Penguin. Be somebody important. Be yourself. Peace out.